Middleweight bout between Christian Leroy Duncan and Dusko Todorovic. Plus 180 for Todorovic, minus 180 for Duncan. Over under 1.5 rounds, plus 115 for the over, minus 115 for the under. The undefeated Christian Leroy Duncan making his debut off of the Cage Warriors. Who do you got in this one?
Yeah, Cage Warriors is obviously a good promotion, and he's found a lot of early finishes. In his last 2 or 3 fights, I think he had a rear naked choke in the first round, and he had a spinning elbow and punches in round 1 against Marian Dimitrov. But the thing with me is betting on these UFC newcomers is just so tough, and it seems like these days there's every single card you get 2, 3, 4, even like this card. But Dusko Todorovic, I know we got that last win against Jordan Wright, but that first round did not go his way whatsoever. And obviously, we know Jordan Wright. I can't remember. Did he get cut by the UFC after that last loss?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and if not, I mean, he's been bullied in the octagon at times. So, yeah, it makes me nervous. It's kind of another game of the unknowns for Christian Duncan. I think he should probably get the win over Dusko Todorovic. Todorovic can be, a pretty technical, decent striker on the feet. He is 12-3. He's not a guy that stands out to you and you think is going to go out there and just flatline guys by any means. I mean, he beat Jordan Wright in the second round via TKO, but I mean, I was talking about, Jordan Wright has not looked good in the UFC, and he always gets finished, with exception to his last fight. And then he loses to Chidi Njokuani, then a ground and pound TKO over Maki Pitolo. But other than that, man, he just hasn't really fought anybody, so it's hard to get a good read on him as well. And if it's going to be a guy like Dusko Todorovic taking on an undefeated UFC newcomer, I just don't like, or I don't feel comfortable on either side. For my pick, though, I am going to go with Christian Duncan. I think he's got a little bit more promise. We kind of know what you're going to get with Dusko, and Christian Leroy Duncan kind of more ways to win. Might be a little bit more aggressive. He's making his UFC debut. Kind of home territory for him as well. So I think all signs point to Duncan should be getting this thing done. But again, just not a fight that I'm super confident in by any means.
Yeah, I think Christian Duncan get the win here. But that price is a little concerning. Cage Warriors, as you said, is a respectable promotion. That's where all his fights have taken place, and he's won all those fights. So he's getting it done. The only thing is that price. Like he's almost a 2-1 favorite against Dusko, who's pretty dangerous in that first round. But I mean, his win, you can't really get behind many of his wins, other than Michel Pereira, he fought in the Serbian Battle Championship back in 2018 and knocked him out in the first round. And now Pereira is, I think he's a ranked welterweight or around somewhere around there. But looks like Duncan is training at Tiger Muay Thai. He's got a picture on his Instagram with Phil Haas, so he's getting some good work there. He looked really good on film. I think he's an explosive guy with a lot of finishing ability, athletic dude. Dusko doesn't really jump off the board in any certain realm of mixed martial arts. He's just kind of a fighter, man. I mean, he's not really a big on the takedowns, not really a crisp striker, just kind of a brawler. He's going to come at you, throw a lot of volume, and he can get taken down. 45% takedown defense. So he's just a wild fighter, man.
Yeah.
And as a dog like that, it's not a terrible play to bet on almost a 2-1 dog who's just going to come out there and be wild, but I don't really see it happening in this one. I think it's probably a good debut for Christian Leroy Duncan, so I'll take him for the pick. But I don't know about the price. Maybe you take him by knockout or inside the distance or something like that, because I don't see this one going the full distance with Dusko. He's a kind of a killer be killed fighter.